Hello, my name is Shakti, and I'm a resident here at Yashodhara Ashram on the shore of Kootenay Lake. And I would like to acknowledge that we are guests here on the unceded territories of the Ktunaxa and the Sinixt peoples. We've been trying to learn about how to take care of our forests, and we've wanted to learn from the traditional wisdom of the Indigenous peoples who have been here for so long, and also trying to understand what does the forest actually do, and what does the forest need, and learning from new forestry practices that are starting to happen. And there's some very innovative, forward-looking people in our area, right around us here, who are helping us. So we started by wanting to protect ourselves from the threat of wildfire and make our forest more resilient. And what we found was, as we went along, really the resilience is two ways. When we take care of the forest takes care of us. And so we've been working from a fire safety point of view to reduce the fuel load in the forest. And what we've started to understand is that the settler forestry practices that have turned into a corporate model of forestry in BC, including clear cuts and suppression of the natural fire cycle, have created unhealthy forests. And so what we've wanted to do is to take care of the forest and create the conditions where the forest can thrive, so that we're creating a forest that is resilient for future generations. And while we've been doing this work and this education for ourselves, we've really recognized the Indigenous wisdom all around the world. And so supporting the Indigenous land protectors in any way that we can, all around the world, and here in British Columbia, as well as doing our own work here, thinking globally and acting locally to take care of the land and to take care of the forest in a way that recognizes the interrelationship of life.
I'm Swami Shivananda. I'm a resident here at Yashodhara Ashram. So we've started to move beyond the limitations that defined our environmental work in the past to try and be more responsive to the international implications. We have to look after ourselves locally and take responsibility that way. But we also have a much bigger responsibility for people around the world. So we've now moved ahead to start to look at our actions in that broader perspective. We did achieve a milestone in 2012 when we were officially certified as carbon neutral. And we're proud of that. It took a lot of work, took 4 years to figure out how to do that and get that certification. And now we're looking at what else we can do, particularly related to international implications and those activities that affect climate change. In a yogic sense, it's the only responsible way to live, actually. In yoga, we learn that one of the powers we always have is the power of choice. So our choice of how we use what comes from the planet and from all the different productions of human activity. So that's where it begins. And then there's also the principles that guide most religious traditions, and certainly are at the foundation of all spiritual traditions. Things like in yoga, the Eastern idea of non-injury, ahimsa. In other religious traditions, it takes a slightly different form, but the principle is the same. And that's what we think the direction ahead is for us, to emphasize that and to take responsibility for ourselves as part of a larger human community.